Hello dear students, today we shall continue in this chapter concept and aim of education. Okay, so today our topic of discussion is aims of education. So let us just try to understand what are the aims of education. The first is the individual aim of education. The second one is a social aim. Third one is a vocational aim, and the fourth one is a democratic aim. Okay, so let's try to understand very briefly what are this aim of education and what do they state. Okay, so first of all, the individual aim of education. So this aim of education implies that education should train the individual. Okay, first, alright, this is the priority. And the primary task of education is to provide an environment. What type of environment? Such an environment in which the individuality, okay, of the pupil, the individuality of the individual or the pupil, we can say, is most completely developed. Okay, so that is in brief the individual aim of education. The second one, the social aim. Okay, this aim of education, the social aim of education, it has got a very wide, or we can say several dimensions. Okay, first of all, we can say that the society, it is a supreme. Okay, it states that the society is a supreme. Okay, and it also states that an individual exists in the society. Okay, and for the society. So the individual exists in the society and for the society. Okay, secondly, another dimension is that the state, okay, it has a responsibility to provide training for its citizens. Okay, so that is what the social aim of education states. Thirdly, it states that social efficiency, okay, it should be the main aim of all types of training. So we have different types of training, alright, in education, as we have discussed in the earlier class. Okay, so there are different types of training that a student undergoes, a child undergoes, an individual undergoes. Okay, but this aim of education states that, okay, that social efficiency, it should be the main aim of all of this training. All right, and this aim of education, we can say, it finds its expression, okay, in such terms as education for the citizenship, all right, education for citizenship and education for social service. Ultimately, what does it say? That all the training that a child or a student or an individual undergoes, it will provide, or it should be for social service. Okay students, now let's try to understand the vocational aim of education. Okay, this aim of education, it implies preparing the students, okay, or we can say individuals, okay, for their livelihood. So it is very easy to remember that this aim of education is also known as the bread and the butter aim. Okay, I will repeat it for you, bread and the butter aim. Very easy to remember, okay, this vocational aim of education. So the supporters of this aim of education, okay, they say that an individual must be prepared to earn, okay, his livelihood. Okay, and they also say that no matter, if a person is so educated, but at the end of the day, if he is not able to meet his needs, okay, then all the education that the person has acquired, it makes no meaning, okay, or it makes no sense. Okay, in other words, they say that he will not be happy, okay, if he is not able to make his ends meet. Okay, so this vocational aim of education, it also contributes to increased production, okay, and it also contributes to national wealth. Okay, and it also develops the value of dignity of labor. Okay, all in our school days we have learned about dignity of labor. So this vocational aim of education, okay, it also develop this value, very important value called dignity of labor. Okay, and it is also very suitable for students or individuals with low intelligence. All right. And the fourth aim of education, that is the democratic aim of education. Okay, this aim of education is based on the sound principle of equal opportunity for participation. Okay, for every member of the state. Okay, again I repeat, equal participation, for opportunity for participation for every member of the state. Okay, so it states that the democratic aim of education, okay, it states that every citizen in a democratic state, okay, they should have a clear understanding of what, of their rights, of their duties, okay, towards the state. Okay, so according to John Dewey, he said that it is through education that we can bring about progress in all the aspects of the society. Okay, progress in social status, in economy, okay, in political and in cultural. So this democratic aim of education, okay, according to John Dewey, that it is through education, okay, we can bring about a change, or we can bring about progress, okay, or towards development in all the aspects that I have mentioned. Okay, okay, my dear students, now let's try to understand what is the relationship of education with different branches or different other sciences. Okay, so with biology, first of all, we'll try to understand. Second one with sociology. Thirdly with philosophy. Fourthly with economics, and with statistics. So these are different subjects, but education has got a very close relationship with all of these subjects. Okay, not just this which are on the blackboard, with every other subjects as well. Okay, but confining our discussion to the concept and aim of education and your chapter, we will briefly discuss what relationship education has with each of these subjects. Okay, so first of all with biology. Alright, so now to tell you, okay, in brief, what is biology. We all know that biology means study of life. Okay, and in brief, you know, if you are asked to divide the living world, we divide them as plant world and the animal world, or the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. Okay, now this development of the body, okay, and of the mind, okay, it is a subject matter of education. Okay, how does the mind grow? Okay, what is the developmental process? Okay, growth and development, okay, and of this body. Okay, now we are only talking about, our discussion is with the human body. Okay, so the growth and development of the body is related to the theories and principles of biology. Okay, growth and development itself is a big subject, okay, when we study biology. Okay, now while growth and development of the mind is related to the theories and principles of psychology. Okay, I will repeat again. The growth and development of the mind is related to the theories and principles of psychology. Okay, now in order to give a balanced education, okay, to the educand, we can say the learner or the student, okay, or any individual who is trying to get educated. Okay, so in order to give a balanced education, okay, to the one who is learning or to the educand, okay, it is very important, it's very necessary to study the basic characteristics of the human body. Okay, for example, okay, particularly the anatomy. What is anatomy? Anatomy is a study of body structures. Okay, how the body, what is the structure of the human body. Okay, secondly physiology. Okay, what is physiology? It is a study of the body functions. Okay, you have learned in class 9 and class 10 what are the physiological processes that occurs in the human body. Okay, so all of these things, okay, to know, okay, to have a proper education, okay, or give we can say transfer of knowledge, it is very important to have a knowledge of these processes, okay, of anatomy, of physiology, so that the educand, alright, can understand, okay, the concepts of education, you know, clearly, okay, in a more vivid way. Alright, so this biology, okay, forms a very integral part of education as well. Alright, secondly, now the relationship of education with sociology. Now first of all, let's try to understand what is sociology. Okay, this word sociology, alright, has been derived from a Latin word called societas. Okay, and another Greek word called logos or logi. What is logi? You know, that means a science. Okay, so sociology means what? Yes, sociology means the study of society, okay, or the science of society. Okay, we can say science of society. Alright, now there is a very close relationship between education and the sociology. So close that there is a new branch of science which have come into existence, all right, this branch of science is called educational sociology. All right. Okay, my dear students, let us continue our discussion now. The relationship of education with philosophy. Okay, relationship of education with this branch of science called philosophy. Okay, now the relationship between education and philosophy is very close. All right, so close that there is a new branch of study which has emerged. Okay, and that is known as educational philosophy. Okay, I repeat, educational philosophy. So if any of you are interested, you can get specialization in this subject called educational philosophy. Okay, now it is that branch of science, okay, or it is that branch of study which deals with the educational implications of philosophical findings. Okay, what are the philosophical findings and what are the educational implications that has? All right, so it's a very interesting branch of science, I should say, okay, for me. And this education and philosophy, if we look at the relationship, they are like the two sides of a coin. Okay, philosophy is a contemplative side. Okay, while or whereas we can say education is the active side of the coin. All right, so they are very close. All right. Now, broadly speaking, different philosophies, okay, both Western philosophies, okay, and Oriental philosophy, okay, they tell us what constitutes a life which is worth living. All right. It is, after all, we want to make our life worth living. Okay, so there are many philosophies, okay, both Western and Oriental, which tells, okay, that what constitute or what are the activities or what are the part of life that makes, okay, or what are the philosophy that makes life worth living, okay, that gives value, right, or adds value. So educational philosophy, what it does, it tells us how to make life worth living. All right, I hope you understand. This branch of science, educational philosophy, tells us how to make life worth living. Okay. Okay, now relationship of education with economics. Okay, my dear students, economics, okay, also has a very close relationship with education. Okay, and it is very interesting to know that the economic value of education was realized even in ancient India. All right, and in modern times, eminent economists, okay, like Adam Smith, okay, John Stuart Mill and Alfred Marshall, they have suggested that education should be considered as a national investment. Okay, my dear students, now let us see what is the relationship of education with statistics. Okay, what is statistics? First of all, yes, statistics refers to the theories and techniques which are involved in collecting, summarizing and interpreting numerical facts. Okay, now in recent years, statistics also refers to summary figures or derived figures to which, okay, numerical facts are reduced, such as average, okay, then range, percentage, etc. All right, now statistical methods, okay, they enable us to classify, to organize, okay, to summarize these numerical facts, okay, so that they can be more readily comprehended and interpreted. My dear students, okay, we must know that educators and social scientists, okay, they collect many different types of data. Okay, now much of this data which is collected comes from educational and psychological measuring instruments. Okay, now a knowledge of statistics, okay, what will benefit or how will it help? A knowledge of statistics will aid, okay, it aids in the correct interpretation, okay, and analysis of the data which is collected. Okay. Now, let us suppose that a teacher or a psychologist or we can say a sociologist, okay, he has made some measurements, okay, and what are some of the things that can be done, okay, to get the maximum information from the result. The information is collected, it will be interpreted, okay, using now statistical methods. Okay, now what are some of the possibilities? Okay, so I have given here some list of possibilities. Okay, averages can be seen, okay, from the data which is collected by statistical method. Variability can be known, graphs can be constructed, okay, standard scores can be seen, correlations can be known, okay, what is the reliability, what is the validity of the data which is collected, alright, what predictions can be made, okay, from those data which are collected. Then we can also draw inferences, okay, and even comparisons can be made. So these are a list of possibilities, okay, that can be, okay, that we can get, okay, or for maximum information we can you know, we can get all of these things which I have listed here, okay. So my dear students, this discussion, okay, brings us to the conclusion of this concept and aim of education, okay. In the Miley app, I will give you some questions, alright. The answers you try to prepare it on your own, alright. And you know, when things get better and we will meet in the class, I will clear if you have any doubts, okay. When we meet in person, I will be able to clear your doubts, okay. So please go through the text, alright, and please keep abreast of all that has been discussed in the class, okay. So till next class, you stay home and stay safe.
Stay home, stay safe.